David, congratulations. Why make this move?
I think the biggest thing for me was just my development and improving, and also just being around family. I mean, I've been away from home since I was like 16, so coming home and playing in front of my family was a big part of it.
So talk us through you've moved all around the country. So when did you talk us through where you've lived and when you've lived there to give us a bit of an idea about your Perth lifestyle?
Right. So obviously I was born in Perth. I moved to Melbourne when I was 16, just to play in front of more eyes and get more recognition. I played at Kilsyth while I was in Victoria. Made the Vic team. And from there, I went to the Institute in Canberra. And then after a year at the Institute, I signed my first NBL deal with United.
And you've played for Australia during that stint as well. So it feels like you've done a hell of a lot at the moment. Do you feel like you've done the perfect apprenticeship as well with the year this year with Melbourne United to show the Wildcats exactly what you could do?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think last year was a great indicator of what I'm capable of. And I think the focus right now is just making sure that it's a consistent thing. And that's what I'm here at the Wildcats to work on.
So, Danny, how important was it to get another WA talent in? You had Pinder the other day, and now you've got David here as well. So you're adding locals.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as JR and I have mentioned many times, as we set out to go hard in free agency this offseason, a big priority was one, improving areas of our game defensively, but also definitely adding local talent and bringing them back home to Perth. And our first two recruits are exactly that. And we're extremely excited that David's chosen us for the next stage of his career.
So what does it do for you when you get locals in? Does it make it easier to retain them? Does it make it easier to recruit them in general, like because they're wanting to come home? How does the WA flavour assist with building a roster?
Oh, I think any kid that grows up in Perth and is West Australian at heart wants to play for the Wildcats. I would think that. And for us, I think it just shows proof in our program that we're heading in the right direction, that players believe in the player development that JR is preaching. And we're on the right path to rebuilding and getting the Wildcats back to where we all know they should be as title contenders every year.
Yeah. David, you turned down, I think the Wildcats had 20 NCAA D1 offers. Was that a tough decision to take the professional route over the college route?
Yeah, a little bit. I think my thought process in that was I wanted to speed up my development and play against players who are already professional and have a pro body and whatnot, and learn from them. I thought that was the decision I was making. I think it just would have sped up my development, and I think it did.
We saw several Americans come over and play in the NBL instead of taking the college route, and you've decided to do the same thing. Then they've gone back into the NBA draft. Is that sort of the trajectory you're hoping to follow? Yeah,
for sure. I think one of my main basketball goals is to definitely play in the NBA. And watching players like those who've come over here, played for you, and gone to the draft is something I definitely want to do, and hopefully I can achieve that while playing at the Wildcats.
What was the pitch to David to get him back to Perth? Was there competition for his signature?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, David's a coveted player across the league, and we feel very fortunate that he's chosen our situation. But I think for us, for our staff, John and myself, for David, it was understanding his goals and where he wants to get individually, and how we can help him get that, which is the NBA, and how we can develop him to get to that next stage in his career, coinciding with the opportunities we feel like we have for him here in Perth to contribute right away. we love the positional size, the length, the athleticism that he's going to bring to the front court. It's something we've lacked. He's someone that we've looked at over the last couple of years as if we could have a chance to bring him home, it was a no-brainer. He was a priority for us in free agency.
Like rebounding obviously has been an issue or was an issue. You've now got Pinder and David, and obviously you'll probably add to that. Was that a priority coming into this free agency?
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely. We know, the last 2 years we've had the number one offense in the league, but obviously it hasn't got us to the pointy end of the season where we all want to get to. And so for us, improving our youth and athleticism, which coincides with, rim protection, defensive rebounding, is something that we wanted to do. And it was a strategy from day one. And we're super fortunate that, players like David and Keanu have put their faith in JR and his staff and the organization. And we're going to have a really athletic front line going forward.
An entertaining style of game. Is that something that you consider when you're looking at players?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, for sure. I mean, part of basketball, right? It's an entertainment sport. People pay good money to come watch the Wildcats play an exciting style, exciting brand of basketball. And I think you saw last year offensively when things were clicking towards the end of the year, especially, like we were an elite offensive team and very fun to watch. Now with that comes, you're giving up. Last year we gave up, I guess, size and rebounding and some rim protection for an elite offensive unit, which didn't get it done. But that's fine. And now we're addressing those issues now through free agency, as you can see in the first two signings we've announced.
Were you a Wildcats fan when you grew up? You said you spent your first 16 years here. And if so, did you have a favourite player or a player that you sort of modelled your game on?
Yeah, for sure. Like growing up, I would always watch Wildcats games on the TV. I've been to a couple as well when I was younger. Probably my favorite player watching in the Wildcats uniform was James Ennis. I loved watching his games and going to the games and watching him play. So, yeah.
Would you like to have him in your team at some stage? You told Danny to look up James Ennis, see what he's up to.
I'm not really sure what he's doing, so that's Danny's decision.
Thanks, mate. Danny, can I just ask, all the talk has been about McDowell White. Are you any closer to signing him for next season? Where are you at with him?
Yeah, there's rumours out there for sure. But no, there's nothing else that we can report on other than that. It's speculation. Obviously, we're looking at every position that we can load up on. So yeah, no, nothing to report on there.
And is there any latest on Mitch Norton and Todd Blanchfield and their futures at the club? Have you got something there? Do you expect them to be on the court come day one of the season?
Yeah, it's there's ongoing discussions between multiple parties with those two. Obviously, they're contracted players to us. We value them. And we're talking with both the players and their agents to find a solution, whether it's with us staying with the Wildcats or whether they feel like they're better off in another situation where they may get more opportunity.